I'll tell you what, man. We get to the point where we got Star Trek replicators.
Can't wait.
Then I'm not. Then I'll listen to your argument about free resources. If we invent Star Trek style replicators where you could walk up and go, computer, double cheeseburger, extra bacon, and a side of sweet potato fries with a large Coke, and then boof, it just appears. And we have that, but they're withholding it from the people. I will protest.
Yeah.
I will demand my replicator.
Yeah,
I will say, hey, no, I want. But we're not there. That's not reality. That's science fiction. So if there's a finite amount of resources to go around, then we allocate them in this way. I do think we're getting to a point, though. The reason we're seeing this is because we actually have the resources to sustain people who do nothing. These Antifa people literally do nothing. Their work is organizing. Organizing what?
Yeah.
Chaos? It makes no sense. Right.
Yes.
So if people were occupied, what's the saying? Idle hands are the devil's playground. Is that it?
Good.
That's the saying.
Yep.
Boom, there it is. So they have nothing to do. They're bored. And because of this, they live in this fantasy world. So we are getting to this point where it is becoming easier and easier to produce food, which keeps people sustained. And we actually now we're starting to have fat homeless people.
Well, that's if the wheels of society keep rolling, though.
Right.
Which I don't know if you noticed, the economy has come to a big, huge halt lately.
I got no problem farming.
Neither do I.
I
hunting, for that matter.
A good day of hard work is obviously no problem for me.
That's true. You don't ever stop working.
Nope. 16 hours a day, every day, no days off.
I love chopping wood.
Man. We had a bunch of wood in the back. Adam would just go out for fun and go chop it. I'll tell you what, man. If we enter a post-apocalyptic, world, I'd have no problem waking up at the crack of dawn and going and tending to the fresh crops and the animals. It'd be a lot of fun. These people, however, no, they're gonna cry.
Well, and they're claiming they're going to the Sturgis rally.
Yeah, right.
And they have thousands of people show up. And they're bikers, and they don't mess around.
But those guys are gonna be disciplined. They're not
the people that show up, or
no, the Sturgis guys.
Yeah,
the biker dudes.
Yeah, they are. They're
dude.
They know what they're doing. But
you
don't show up there and try to do something though.
It's like the saying about when you're at a bar, the guy who's talking a lot of smack is not the guy you want to worry about. It's the guy minding his own business who's quiet and chilling.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of. I'm sure you'll get some rowdy dudes at like a Sturgis rally who will definitely throw down immediately. Yeah. I'm sure most of these guys are going to be like, little boy, this is not the time and place.
Yep,
And they're going to be like, you can go out that way because you do not understand. They don't understand. These anti people, they don't get it.
They don't. They live in a video game.
I would love this, and I've actually offered a lot of people this, a lot of these lefties, an opportunity to go to a place that they that they've been concerned about to actually experience and talk to people, and they never take the offer. Like I know a dude in Chicago who's always complaining and pro Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. And I was like, how would you like funding to go and shoot a video in one of these neighborhoods and talk to the locals about how they feel about what's going on? Gone in 2 seconds. You know why?
Why?
They live in Chicago. They know what these neighborhoods are really like.
Yep.
And they know that they're not welcome. The things they claim are not true. I offered one guy one time. I said, how would you like to go and actually cover some news in Israel? Legit, do some interviews, gone. You know why? Because they know all of the complaints they have, once they actually go on the ground in Israel, a bunch of regular people are going to talk to them about the conflict and the complexities, and their narrative and extremism falls apart. Yep. They never want to actually do it. It's not just that, though. A lot of these people talk big, how they're all tough, and then I'll say, how would you like to go on a camping trip? Gone. But I like living in this city with all these free and easy things that are readily available to me.
Yep.
Think about this way. This is what's crazy. Imagine living in the middle of nowhere, 10,000 years ago. Where's your water coming from?
You would know
if you
were alive 10,000 years ago. You would know.
No, let's say right now you got transported. Boom, 10,000 years in the past. You got to find water. Okay.
I know where a stream is.
Once you find it, all right, how do you clean it? You got to make fire.
Well, no, 10,000 years ago, the biomes in our belly would be able to handle the water that we'd be used to.
I'm just saying you right now.
Oh, I'm physically transported in the past. Right. Oh, man.
There's no opportunity to find a city. You've got to survive. The reason I'm saying this is the people right now don't realize going into the bathroom and turning a knob and fresh, clean water coming out is the luxury among luxuries.
And your excrement goes away.
Pooping in the toilet.
Where does it go? Where does the poop go? You don't have to worry about it. That's the world you live in right now.
No digging holes, no burying it.
Yeah, clueless.
But here's what people also don't realize. is that you back in the day, everything you did would leave a scent. They're predators.
Yep.
So if any one of these people were just dropped in the middle of like, the Yukon territory or something, tundra as far as I can see, they'd be like, wow, I really am wealthy with all of the gifts of modern society.
Yeah, it's true. I actually am a big fan of those living in the wilderness shows.
Yeah, man. You ever watch Ancient Technology?
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
He like makes a mud hut.
Yep.
And he gets clay and then he sets a fire. Mm-hmm. He created a stove to like heat it. That dude is amazing. Those are awesome videos. See, here's the thing. I love that stuff.
Yep.
I love building. I love planning. I love solving puzzles. I love working hard on whatever I have to do to make something succeed. These people don't. They're the opposite. They're the inversion.
That's true.
They go out and they destroy and they complain.
This is the world that they think is the norm. It's
man.
not. It's not the norm.
It's what I say a lot about like the bridges in New York.
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize there's what do we got? We got the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, the Williamsburg Bridge, the Queensboro Bridge, the Washington Bridge, Tappan Zee, Verrazano.
Yep.
Man, you got a lot of bridges. You got the Battery Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel. Yep.
Yeah,
all of these things that get you easily in and out of Manhattan Island were extremely expensive, and it took ridiculous amounts of managerial power and manpower to build.
Yeah,
but these
engineering minds that created it too.
The math and everything. These kids wake up one day and it's there for them, and they don't respect it.
This is what life is like.
Yep, it's just there. I remember, like I'd be hanging out on like the Lower East Side of New York by the river, and I'm looking up at the Manhattan Bridge, and I'm just like, what would it have been like if there was no bridge there? Who built this? How much money? Like who did all the labor? And I think back, like I was watching Return of the Living Dead. You ever see that movie?
I think so.
It's from the 80s. And it's like, I don't know, it's from like 1984.
Is that Bruce Campbell?
No. Return of the Living Dead is just a zombie movie.
No, I don't think
it's a campy old 80s zombie movie. It's great. I love it. I'm watching it, and there's all of these people doing things, and I thought it was funny, because this is like a normal human thing. I was like, these people were making this movie before I even existed. Like, a couple of years before I existed, civilization was a thing. It's a funny concept, because these people don't understand that in their minds.
It's true.
They don't realize we are all standing on the shoulders of giants. We are sitting beneath the shade that was planted by people who knew they would never get to sit beneath that shade.
Yeah, and that mentality is gone.
At least among these people.
You're right. It's crazy. I hope they come around, because we can lose it. I forget who said it, but we're only one generation from total annihilation, basically. If we give up and everyone just focuses on themselves, then who's gonna pick up the mantle?
I think, one thing that really worries me is this can't last forever. The way we live, the chaos, the politics. We need survival instincts. We need responsibility. Otherwise, we will not survive.
It's true.
Because we're not yet at the point where we have replicators. We don't live in one of these Wall-E spaceships where everyone just floats around on little hover chairs and they gain weight all day because everything's taken care of for them. We don't live there.
Yeah.
We really are tricking ourselves into believing we've conquered the world.
Right.
And we didn't.
Yeah, the fear of not living is gone because of the comforts that we now provide everyone as a baseline.
Yeah.
There's no fear of, I'm not going to be able to, my son might not survive because my house might get burned down, or, in a war. Well, like, we don't see wars, physical wars anymore. Like, when was the last time America was in a physical war here?
Good times make soft men.
No one sees it here,
So that's what I'm saying. If we want to get to that point where we do have a Star Trek-like future, we have to have the drive to survive. But now we're losing it because people think the game is over and we've won.
Right.
When we haven't.
No, we're not.
So that brings me to this fear that with a potential conflict with China, we're going to see mass casualties. And I mean mass as in, man, you have not seen the level of death that I worry about sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
millions.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, millions of people maybe, in the event of, like, we're really lucky, but we haven't had one of these great disasters of the past because we really have done a great job.
Yeah.
Solar flare.
Well, and
when's the big solar flare coming?
Well, I mean, right now the sun is relatively dormant as far as solar flares go, but really, you think about the societal wheels that are moving around that give everyone food. We can go to the store and buy food. If all that food suddenly, if the wheels stop working, to get them churning enough for everyone to have all of the stuff that they're used to going out and buying. If all that disappeared right now, we would see mass starvation.
Bro,
and
they will be eating each other in the streets.
I know, and that is a scary premise. Like, to think about it, like we've been down. You know, the economy's been shut down for 5 months now, 6 months almost. Jeez, it's like, how are we going to bounce back? It's not going to be a quick bounce back.
No,
you know, and the food. I'm not saying it's guaranteed that it's gonna be gone, but I've shopped lately, and they don't have 100% of what they've used to have.
Truckers don't want to go into cities that defund police.
And you got that.
Yep.
Now, if you're in a city, you got the truckers that are like, I'm not going in there.
I don't blame them.
Trucker's been pulled out of his trucks and beaten to death.
I was talking to a cabbie a couple of years ago,
mm-hmm.
and man, it's crazy. A couple of years ago, life was just peachy, and I mean, whatever. We had it was still Trump, and the media was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was like I can't remember exactly what it was. I was in New York, and I was talking about how condensed the city is, and I was joking about how people don't realize, you know, New York's a crazy place to be if the world breaks down. Yeah. And the cabbie was like, man, these people, give them a couple of days, they'll eat each other and drink each other's blood. And I started laughing, and I'm like, he's right, dude.
Yeah, they are.
If like right. The tunnels get shut down, or or the bridges are shut down or something, people are trapped in the city, they have nowhere to go, and there's no food. What are they gonna do?
I'm hearing an Alex Jones quote in my head.
Oh, what? They'll eat their neighbors.
Yes.
I'm half joking, to be honest, because I think most people would just leave the city.
But if you just said, though, if they don't have a place to go and the bridges are all shut down, they can't cross the bridge.
Let's say the bridges and they're fine, because the bridges are just roads.
True.
You know, we could walk across them. There's no.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, some of them have tolls. All right. Let's say this. Let's say right now, food stops coming into New York, and the water shuts off. Everything's shut down. You got 2 million people on the island. What do they do? Well, a lot of them are going to get in their cars, the ones that have them. Many of them don't. And they're going to drive out of the city. There's going to be mad traffic, and then people will eventually run out of gas. Then you have a bunch of people walking around looting and looking for food.
Yep.
Within a few days, the food is gone. Then what happens? People will start fleeing the city in random directions, but they got to eat. Man, you know what's really crazy? Think about this. War. When all of the troops in, say, like the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, are marching through fields, you got to feed them.
That's true.
How do you feed a group of, thousands of people who are like, in various areas walking around? Food's got to be brought in.
Yep.
People got to eat. And they can go quite a bit, a long time without eating. But maybe if you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
Well, they can't go that long without water.
Yep.
I mean, they still need to be supplied water.
Do you think anybody in New York knows how to source water if the water got shut off?
Definitely not.
Nope.
Definitely not.
And do you think people are just going to lay over and just be like, well, I guess I'll die? No, they're going to become ravenous, dude. They're going to be like, I will do anything. Like, you ever like not eat for a while, and then finally whatever you ate tastes just so good?
Yep.
That's what it's going to be like. These people are going to be like desperately thirsty and hungry and willing to do whatever it takes to not die.
Jordan Peterson talks about some terrible things that have happened in the past that many people are like, well, that'll never happen. And he talks about the Bolsheviks and, the
Holodomor and stuff.
Yeah, just in what happened back then. And he's like, you never know what you're capable of until you're there. And we are not there. And most people have no idea how terrible it can be. It's shocking what he's talking about. I don't want to get too crazy into details because it's sickening.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.